When we look at Bitcoin, we'll explore cryptocurrencies overall, but it's the first and really the most popular of the cryptocurrencies out there. Is it going to stay the leader and stay the winner? Does it have first mover advantage, or is this just the beginning of the cryptocurrency revolution where we're going to see something else overtake it?
It's hard to say. We don't know the winners in this space, so it's very important to look at a basket approach. That is, if you look at Bitcoin, it gained steady recognition and market cap climbed out all the way to 275 billion. But if you look at other digital assets in, say, the digital asset 10 index, which we have on Bloomberg, you'll see contenders to it, such as Ether, Ripple, Litecoin, and Dash. Some of these assets are more of cryptocurrencies, and some of them are more like technology type of investments.
Okay, you're an expert. What do you make of what happened in the last 24 hours? Just watching the action, the frenzy, the stops. What do you make of it?
Absolutely. So we are very excited to see the market mature, and when institutions and regulators participate in the space, that's generally a good sign for any industry. And while the volumes on the CBOE futures contract are much smaller than what you see in the crypto derivatives exchanges, like BitMEX traded 2.2 billion. It is definitely a good sign that we see volume shifting towards a regulated environment.
As you mentioned, volume is pretty thin. I have a chart here. I think earlier in the day, total volume was like something 50 million. It's probably a little bit past that now, but not a whole lot. But you have an index of various cryptocurrencies, and I have to imagine that at some point the vision is this becomes a basis for ETFs and funds and a benchmark against which managers try to outbeat with their own crypto portfolios. How much interest do you gauge on the institutional side for money to come into these type of vehicles?
We are seeing tremendous interest. So the digital asset space right now is 90 to 95% retail, because there has not been a regulated way to participate. As we have more regulated instruments, such as futures contracts, there's a higher likelihood and higher interest from the institutional space.
What are your projections in terms of how that will shift? Is it going to be 50-50 over the next year?
That's hard to say. It's very important to keep a basket approach for all the indices and try to sort of just stick with the digital asset 10.
Have you ever seen a mania before in which everyone on retail got there first and then Wall Street was the last to show up at the party?
Good question.
Yeah, this is perhaps the first one when Wall Street is catching up to Main Street.
Tulips?
Well, we at VanEck think that this Bitcoin has real potential. If it were to become digital gold, then it might have a tremendous space to grow.
Were you surprised by the lack of volume, though, here? Because there are a lot of people looking at this now and going, actually, they expected higher volume. I get that it's the first day and that there's challenges and the institutional point that you're making, but actually, are you surprised by the lack of volumes that we saw?
Broadly speaking, as mentioned earlier, there's a lot of volume on non-US based digital asset derivatives exchanges. Volumes are in the billions, and I think institutions are experimenting and figuring out ways to participate in this space.